Hello, everyone, and welcome to this direct instruction for Unit 6 on valuation. I'm not going to be too long tonight, but I did want to make sure I give you guys some help on the problems that are going to be due this Sunday. Like I said, I do know you guys have a good amount of work to do this week, so I won't be with you for that long. So this week was all about valuation. From the discussion, I kind of can see that you guys have a good understanding of how valuations work. So ultimately, the learning objectives for this direct instruction, well, that a learner will be able to calculate the adjusted book value of equity, estimate free cash flows, and also determine terminal value. All right, so we're going to go over a couple problems from the book, and these will look very familiar if you've already done their homework. So you have Privco. It's a small private firm with a book value of assets and liabilities. Its assets include property listed, but with a recently assessed market value of $125,000. In addition, Privco has $60,000 in inventory that is entirely obsolete and has no liquidation value. Other assets are deemed to have liquidation values close to book values. So ultimately, we want you to estimate the value of Privco's equity based on the book value of the equity plus adjustments. So, first thing we need to figure out is what is the book value of equity. To do that, you have the book value of the assets minus the book value of liabilities. This gives you the book value of the equity. Now we're going to proceed to the adjustments. The first adjustment, we're going to take the market value of the, we're going to take the market value of the property minus the cost of the property, and then we'll get the difference. Our next adjustment is the inventory. So we know that the inventory has no liquidation value, so we know it starts at zero. But we do have a cost of that inventory, which is $60,000, which makes a difference of negative $60,000. Finally, we take the book value of the equity that we figured out in the beginning of $300,000. We add the difference in the property value of $45,000, and then we subtract the difference in inventory of $60,000, which gives us the adjusted book value of equity of $285,000. All right, so questions 2 through 5 all are related. So just kind of get started here, we do have Free Cash Inc. is anticipated to make earnings before interest and taxes, EBIT, of $30,000, $40,000, and $50,000 in each of the next 3 years. Depreciation is estimated at $3,000, $3,500, and $4,000 in each of the next 3 years. Capital expenditures are estimated to be at $8,000, $9,000, and $10,000 in each of the next 3 years. Incremental increases in working capital requirements are estimated at $2,500, $3,000, and $3,500 in each of the next 3 years. Free Cash Inc. tax rate is at 35%. This question is asking us to estimate the free cash flows to the firm for Free Cash Inc. for each of the next 3 years. So like always, we always want to start with what we know. Um, we do know that, the K, the cost of capital, is 9%. The terminal growth rate is 4%. The tax rate is 35%. And then we also know the EBIT for each of the next 3 years for Free Cash Inc. First thing we need to do is minus out the taxes. So to figure out taxes, we take the EBIT number and we multiply that by the tax rate. So once we minus out the taxes, our next step is to calculate to add depreciation, which is a given figure. We also want to add the capital expenditures. Well, I'm sorry, we want to subtract the capital expenditures and also subtract the working capital requirements. And from here, we get an estimate of the free cash flows for each of the next 3 years. So the next question kind of continues on from there. Free Cash Inc.'s cost of capital is estimated to be 9%. Free cash flows beyond year 3 are estimated to grow at an annual rate of 4%. So using this information that was provided in number 2, apply the growing perpetuity formula to estimate the terminal value of Free Cash Inc. as of year 3. So we know that year 3, the free cash flow was 23. And we also know the givens that we had in number 2. Ultimately, the idea is to use the equation here. So by plugging in year 3's free cash flow, multiplying that by 1 plus our terminal growth rate, and then dividing that by the cost of capital minus the terminal growth rate. And we get a terminal value of 478.4. All right, continuing on. Number 4, Free Cash Inc.'s current value of existing debt is $58,996. Using the information that was provided in questions 2 and 3, they want us to estimate the value of the equity of Free Cash Inc. by applying the free cash flow to the firm method. So now we know that the PV of the free cash flow for each of the 3 years here. And what we'll need to do is add those numbers up to get the value of the firm. After that, we know what the debt is. They gave us that. So all we'll need to do from there is minus the value of the firm. Minus the debt from the value of the firm. And we'll get a value of equity of 353.915. Finally, we want to estimate Free Cash Inc.'s year 3 terminal value by applying the EV EBITDA multiple of 8.5 times to the year 3 EBITDA. So we haven't calculated EBITDA yet, but we do know that the EBIT for year 3 was 50. We also know that depreciation for year 3 was 4. And we also know that the EBITDA equals EBIT plus depreciation, which means our EBITDA is 54. We do know that our EBITDA multiple is 8.5. Which means our terminal value based on EV EBITDA multiple is 459, which is done by multiplying 54 by 8.5. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. So I hope that this does help you guys out with your homework that you have to do this Sunday. As you know, you have a larger assignment due also on Sunday. And I definitely want to make sure you guys have plenty of time to take care of that. So besides that, have a great night. And if you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out to me.